Hello, this is JilliBling. How are you today? What do you think? This is Flowering Tulips, and I am going to be making this my first of my Gotta Have It projects. And what that means is if you get this bundle, I would love to send you 5 card kits, and this is the first one. So coming up soon, there will be 4 more using this bundle. But isn't that just cute as can be? And this little pink daisy is the one who created this card, and I just love it. Bumblebee. I don't use yellows often, but this, it really works. Okay, you ready to get started? So here's the papers, and the bundle includes the dies and the stamp set. And then along with that, we'll be using tasteful labels, and that's for the circle for the words. Be using brushed brass butterflies, my new favorite. This ribbon, and this is Bumblebee gingham. Just Bumblebee gingham ribbon. And I'll put all the products to use on my blog, and my blog is JilliBling.com. And I'll put those up, the listing, as soon as I get all 5 of these projects done. And I'll list all of it together. Okay, this is Stampin' Up! White thick cardstock. So it's really thick compared to the basic white cardstock, a little bit thinner, but very smooth. This is great for stamping on. So there's the base. This I'll stamp on. This piece here is going to go on top after I do the die cut. And you know, at first I was thinking I could just do the die cut on here and then just put a piece of Bumblebee paper back behind it. But look what you would see on the inside. That wouldn't look good. Then I thought, well, I could put the whole Bumblebee paper right on here, but that would kind of hinder the card opening and closing. So let's do it this way. Where on here, cut this out, then this go here, and then that go on top. Okay, we'll do that in a minute. Let's do the stamping. And these are just inside papers. That's all that's to this card. Inside papers. So for the stamping, we're going to do 2-step stamping. So on the sample, these flowers are these right here, and that's the center, done in Memento black, and that's done in Memento. And that's all the stamping. I plan on putting these flowers all along the bottom on the inside, but this is so cute, I had to do it again. Makes it really easy. Okay, so 2-step stamping, I will show you about that. So I'm going to put 2 flowers and then the greeting. So here's the stamps, and when you look at them, you need to tell which one is the bolder and which one is more detailed. So when you look at these, like look at this little bit down here, that's a bit bolder. This up here at the top is definitely bolder, and this one is more the detailed. I'm going to start with the bolder one, ink it, stamp off, and then stamp on my paper. And then this one is going to be full strength Bumblebee, and this will be stamped off Bumblebee. Okay, so looking at these, this one is detailed. This one is the bold. So I'll do bold first. My little spot, I don't know where my big ink pad is, but that's okay. So Bumblebee, stamp off, and stamp on here. So then it'll just be a faint hint of the Bumblebee color, just like that. Do it one more time for the 2 flowers. Stamp off, and then onto the basic white paper. Okay? Step 1, done. So now this one is going to be full strength right on top. And to line them up, I'm going to look at this area right here, and then also these little, like the outside part of the flower. And if you don't get them perfectly lined up, it still looks really good. Also the inside, there's this little bit right here, and I'm going to try to get that right over that part. Okay, here we go. Right through these top two leaves, petals, I saw the little gap, and I was using that to line up too. Isn't that pretty? This little gap right here, primarily I was using that. And I'm lucky how these worked out. If you look at my sample, you'll see it didn't line up so perfect, but that's okay. I don't think this one lined up so good, but it's okay. Okay, done with that. And I purposely stamped a little bit low on the paper because this right here I want to do, well, this will cut these out. This right here, the stem, which could be a nice lovely flowing stem, but I'm going to cut out one of those, cut it in half, and that's what I use for the stems here. You don't see either end of it, so even if you run into your words, if you put it way over there, that's fine. Okay, this is for the words. Let's do the words. And on Little Pink Daisy, when she did her card, she used a scallop circle, which didn't cut out quite as close. That was a little bit better, but my die is being busy somewhere. It's having fun somewhere. Right when I could use it, but that's okay. Okay, so, more ink in the center. Isn't that a pretty stamp? Okay, and this will be here, but there's one more thing. In the center, these little black things, I don't know for real life if they are black. Oh, you should see the flowers that I picked up from Trader Joe's. Instead of getting the little pack, I got the big pack of tulips. I usually get daffodils every year, but this time I got tulips, and they are kind of orange-red. Up at the top it's mango, and then the other ones are just white. I'll bring them over next video or so. Okay, so I'm going to cut out these pieces. And there they are. This piece, just cut that in half. Okay. So we will use all of these pieces in just a few minutes. So on to this big, long, lovely die. So do you want it to be just a little bit of a hill, or do you want it to be a big old hill? That kind of makes some of the stems go crooked. So I might do a moderate hill, just like that. And while I'm at it, I might as well do this inside piece, which is a little bit smaller in size. Okay, hold on. This one, this one. Let me get these cut. The big one, and the little inside one. And the die is really nice. These pieces come out easy as can be. Okay, while I'm at it. Okay. Okay, so let's do the top part first. And to do that, not that it's hard, I'm going to stick down this piece of Bumblebee, just plain stick it down. And you know, me and my cutting, chances of me getting it perfectly cut, we'll see. Okay, that corner is good. Oh, this one is opposite. But you know what? I think that might be just fine because we're going to put the white right over the top of it. On this project, when I did it, I had to take my scissors and trim it because you could see the bumblebee paper sticking out. Can't have that. Okay, so you can see, not perfect, but it's okay. This piece here, I'll put right at the bottom, just like that, but I'm going to put it on dimensionals. Just strategically placed dimensionals. These are from a paper pumpkin. I don't want them to be seen, so I might have to cut some of them. I know definitely putting dimensionals on some of these little flowers at the top, I'll need to trim them. And I'm going to be a little bit heavy on the dimensionals here. Just because. So I'm going to put on, when I did this card at first, I put on mini dimensionals cut in half, and I did 4 pieces. That wasn't quite enough. And I'll show you why here in just a minute. So for these, because the flowers are so small, I have to cut them in half. So I'm going to do at least 6. If you want, you could do more. Ooh, okay. So that's 1, 2. 1, 2. So I received an online order. I am so happy. That's like the first time. And how long has COVID been going on? We're coming up on 2 years. Happy, happy, happy. I'm going to have to get those thank you cards out. That one might be seen. I might have to trim that. Then definitely one at the end. Okay, so I have 6 little pieces and then dimensionals at the bottom. The ones at the bottom, those are easy. Okay. Now these little bits, in just a minute you'll know why I'm a bit excessive on these little dimensionals. Okay, so before we stick this piece down to the bottom of the card right here, look at your flowers and see how there's this little bit poking up? That looks bad. Those there, those look good. So I'm going to trim that off. Okay, and then put this way at the bottom. Okay, looking great, huh? Then this is the piece it was cut from, so this will perfectly fit right into here. Okay, got a lot going on here. These inside pieces are being a little distracting, but I'll put this here so you could see the top. White on white on white. Okay, so I'm going to put adhesive on the underside. And then on these little pieces sticking out, liquid glue. Because I want this part to be flat. And this part down here popped up. So especially if it's just a little thing sticking out, I'm going to put liquid glue to make sure it holds and it doesn't get snagged. So normally if I put this on, I would focus on the top corners, but I really want it to fit into all these little grooves. So I'm going to focus on just kind of setting it into place, and then just setting it on top. Just like that. So the reason I was so particular about having all those little dimensional pieces is if this bottom piece was not kind of popped up a little bit, the glue would get hung up, kind of like right here. How it's just kind of holding everything down, which isn't terrible. But if you have 6 of them on there, it works a lot better. Okay. Looks like everything is being held down. Okay, now I'm going to deal with how crooked is it on here. That looks good. This right here looks a little bit bigger than I'd like, so I'm just going to trim it. Oh my gosh, that thing in the corner, her name starts with A, she was just talking to me. I didn't say anything. Kinda creepy. She's saying that my Wi-Fi password has changed. Did you hear me say anything to her? I didn't say anything. We were talking about little pieces and daffodils. Okay, so here's the inside. And do this part in a minute. Okay, so for these flowers, they'll go about here and here. This will go about there. Here's the little stems. Let's do the words. So the ribbon, let's put that on. So I'm going to overdo it on dimensionals on the back. What's going on here? Okay, there we go. You know what? Just a minute. How about just a little adhesive to hold the ribbon? And the ribbon, I want it to be right about there. And then I like a little bit of a loop in it. Maybe up a little bit higher. And then there. How's that? Ooh, that's a good loop. Ooh, that looks good. Okay, now the dimensionals. And I'll just put them strategically over this ribbon just to make sure that it doesn't let go after all of that planning and preparing where it should go. Make sure the words are straight. Okay, so for the flowers, I'll do this one first, and I want it kind of going this way. So the stem come from right about there, and I'll tuck it in, could go here. So I like where the stem is on the flower. So with dimensionals, oh, redo. Stem right there. Okay. There, I got it. And then a few more. Okay. Then this is right about here. trim it right there. Put a little liquid glue just on the end. Okay, one flower. So now this one, I want it leaning this way. Maybe it could be up a little bit taller. Just like that. That looks good. Okay, how do you pick it up and get it right where it should be? Because I want the stem to be attached to the flower and both of them on dimensionals. I could lift up the flower and put it down, but I want it raised up a little bit. Okay, let me see. Right angle. Yeah, that looks good. It doesn't have to be exact. The flowers are just so cute, they could be anywhere. Okay. Then I'll trim this right there. Tuck it in and have them overlapping a little bit. What is that? Okay. So next is butterflies, brushed brass butterflies. So I'm going to put 3 of them on. Well, maybe I could find that spot and cover it. One right here. And then more. I've gone through a whole package of them. There's 80. Then a couple of little ones. Okay, butterflies. Isn't that cute? It's so simple, it's so classic. I think that's my adhesive. There it goes. Use your adhesive remover. Okay. So now for the inside, all I have to do is put the greeting on here. And I like that same greeting. And that was just thinking of you today. So that will go in Memento Black. Try to get it straight. Perfect. I still feel like I should be stamping on the inside, but that's okay. Okay, so this one is going to be completely stuck down because I don't think dimensionals really belong on the inside of a card. Then I'm going to put just a little bit of glue just to hold down all these little fragile pieces. Just a little bit. Okay, and then this one is just going to get stuck down the same. And I might purposely drop it, because right there, that makes an equal border all around. But I might just drop it just a little bit low so you could see this detail, because it's going to be stuck down flat. Okay, liquid glue for everything. Just because my tape runner, my Stampin' Seal, I don't think that it's narrow enough. I'm just going to focus on the tips of all these flowers because those are the only things probably in danger of getting pulled up or snagged or anything. You know, these cards, we put so much into it. I hope that they frame it or they keep it forever, or this could be their springtime art on their coffee table. Yes, Ruby, I'm avoiding my thumb. It gets no glue. She always gives me a hard time about that. Okay, here we go. Down a little bit lower than planned, but in the center. Okay, here it is. It looks great. A little bit of overlap, but you still get the idea. It still looks good. Okay, so that's all that's for the inside. That's all that's for the whole card. Look at that. Which one do you like better? They're the same. Okay, thanks for tuning in. I hope you have a great day. Bye.